Welcome to another Space Station 13 video. Today's guide may be the most important guide I am making. In this video, I would like to discuss the security department in full detail, but also use this video to help people better understand what the security department is and does. This is also going to be a recruitment drive because every server out there severely needs more security and a definite more robust department that is filled with officers that kick ass. The security department is vital in order to make the game Space Station 13 a fun game.
Who could it be?
It's me, Austin!
Oh, son of a bitch!
What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Damn, I cannot believe he's...
When the security department is not in the shift or there's only one guy working, the game is significantly more stale, you have more antagonists and chaos harming the station, and the rounds are ultimately a lot shorter and chaotic, but not the fun kind. When you have a full security department, the rounds are more realistic and fulfilling, usually making it to 1 hour length on average. Security is there to keep the station safe from antagonists and traitors, and also stop petty crime like assistants breaking into every department. They are the counterweight and balance to the enemies and the actual video gameplay loop. They are an intricate cog in that wheel. And this is why you need them for the actual video game of Space Station 13. Today's political landscape makes the average new player look at security with a cliche of F the police, but that's a very wrong way to look at this department. A good player in security knows how to guide a game, knows how to punish and reward players, and also knows the balance between people playing a video game and role-playing as the job role that they choose. A bad security guard can ruin someone's game to the point that they never want to play again. That's what makes this job very important for people to realize before they get into it. You are almost an admin light. You have no abilities of the admin, but your job directly affects other people's gameplay and their round. By the end of this video, you will fully realize your role as playing a member of the security department, but also your response if you are somebody being affected by the oppressive boot of security, whether they have gone too far and maybe you should report it to the admins. First, let's discuss the different roles in security department. You have the head of security that in my personal opinion is the most advanced job in the entire station in terms of player interaction. Even more so than the captain. You need a great knowledge of space law, how to effectively punish people and let them go in a timely manner, when to execute enemies and traitors, and generally how to run your entire department, keeping them good cops. You also have at your disposal the entire armory since you are the head of the entire department. You have a major target on your back just like the rest of the people in your department. But you being the head of your department, you have to be on the lookout constantly and never go into maintenance alone. They do give you amazing gear to protect yourself with, but I don't recommend being a lone wolf ever. Real quickly, you have your unique energy pistol, which we'll talk about later on in great detail, and you have a compact combat shotgun, amongst many other gadgets. Next, we have the warden. He is the keeper of the armory and also the brig, which is the prison, and the permanent labor camp. Anything to do with prisoners you are in charge of. You will be mocked and ridiculed if you leave security department, not only by your own peers but by everyone on the station. They will proclaim warden out of brig or warden not in security. And this is normal because you are meant to stay in the police station, basically guarding the weapons and prisoners, monitoring the cameras, using the security computer to issue warrants and print out wanted posters. In case of emergency that happens every round, it is your discretion to release weapons to your officers and sometimes to the crew themselves if it is an extreme situation. Your head of security can always overstep you and command you not to release weapons, but in my opinion, what he doesn't know won't hurt him. And if you set up an illegal arms trade in maintenance behind everybody's back, I'm sure you'll make best friends with the clown. Now let's discuss the officers. These are the bread and butter of the security department. They are in charge of arresting people, detaining people, and general security of the station and well-being of the crew. We'll talk about equipment later, but you are very well equipped, and in your locker is your security belt, which is the brunt of your equipment. You have pepper spray, stun batons, a disabler laser pistol, flashbangs, and many other things to help protect you and others around you, or be the worst evil bad cop on the whole station. Your job is not to investigate much. You are just there to arrest, take out threats, and keep the station safe while patrolling around looking for crime, or monitoring cameras, and also being stationed within the various security outposts around the station. These are like little guard shacks within different departments, and you can even wear a department armband and link into the department's radio. The job of investigating goes to the next position, the detective. The detective is a paradox. He is a great role for beginners to get your feet wet in security, but it's also a semi-advanced and very in-depth role, with finding evidence, getting blood types on record, and fingerprints, and also keeping the evidence unadulterated and not getting your fingerprints on stuff. You're also one of the only members of security besides the head of security with a real live action gun that fires bullets that are lethal. Your job on paper is to investigate and find evidence against criminals, and on most servers you are never to directly arrest people by yourself. If you find crime, you want to report it after documenting it and gathering evidence, and then find an officer to help you and back you up. 9 out of 10 times this won't happen, and the detective will go lone wolf and usually get killed or discharge his pistol, harming many people in the process. Always drink a lot of booze and smoke a lot of tobacco to roleplay this position properly, and you have a reasonable excuse why you put a bullet in the clown's ankle by accident. And then finally, the prisoner. The prisoner role and starting job is technically in the security department because you are role-playing as a prisoner that is stationed in the space station. This job counts toward the security hours to unlock head of security, but besides that, there is nothing about this job that secures or protects the station or fights antagonists unless the security department deputizes you and makes you an honorary cop. You could play this job in multiple roleplay aspects of being a prisoner lifer that runs the brig or the best worker in the labor camp. You can also do what every prisoner does and break out and try to blend in with society. But some servers this is against the rules, and it's heavily frowned upon. I have no idea why. Being a prisoner that breaks out is the ultimate survival role-playing job, and trying to make items and makeshift tools to break free is very fun, and I would like everybody to try it at least once. But again, that's my personal opinion. There is a term in the game that the community has coined called shitsec, and this is basically a bad officer. Bad as in ruining people's entire game. Maybe you lock someone up and you never come back for them. That is shitsec. Or maybe you beat someone to near death and don't bring them to medbay, letting them just die. That is a bad thing to do.
Oh, I'll take it from here, nurse.
No!
They say with great power comes great responsibility, and this definitely rings true with the security department. And this is where you should read the Wikipedia and learn space law to make you an above average security officer. Let's discuss some gear that you'll be using in each of these roles. You have your sec light, which is your security flashlight, and you can attach this to some guns, especially your disabler pistol. You have handcuffs and or zip ties, which you can make with wire. Use these on somebody, especially when they've been downed or disabled, and it will handcuff them and they will need to be perfectly still to break free of the handcuffs or zip ties. And the zip ties you could break free a lot quicker, and you can also lock people up quicker. To keep them from breaking out, just keep moving your prisoner around every 5 seconds or so by control clicking on them and pulling them. That will prevent them from breaking free. You can also handcuff people to chairs or beds, extending their time even further, because first they have to break free of that. And you do this by click dragging them onto the chair or bed while they're handcuffed. You have your disabler pistol, which all security officers spawn with, and you definitely want to put a sec light on it and keep it in your pocket. This is a stun laser. You shoot this at perpetrators and it will stun them. A lot of people will lay down, and that's a way to dodge lasers if you're shooting beyond people and not clicking on them. But if you're clicking on someone, even if they're laying down, you will hit them. In your security locker is going to be the rest of your gear you'll need. Your HUD sunglasses. This will identify people that are under arrest, have warrants on them, or other related information. Very important to have. And your security belt is your most important piece of equipment in my opinion, and this is the rest of your serious gear. You have your precious stun baton, which you have to click on while you're holding it to turn it on, and then you left click to stun people and right click to harm them and stun them. And the key is to do a mixture of both, kind of combo it up until they're fully stun lock criticaled. You have my favorite, which is the pepper spray, and you have two different options. When you click on it, you have a more conservative short range spray and then a streamer spray, which you can really knock out a couple of people with it, but it uses more pepper spray. And you can refill these at any security outpost or office that has a pepper spray dispenser, and it looks like this. Just hold the pepper spray in your hand and click on the dispenser to refill it. You can also refill it with chemicals, homemade pepper spray, or the beaker of pepper spray in the armory. Have fun with this knowledge. You have a flasher which can disable Borgs instantly and blind opponents if they're facing you. If they have their back to you, it doesn't quite work. And if they're on their side, it works partially. This is a great tool to knock people out with quickly. You have flashbang grenades. This is great to drop entire rooms of people. This makes them deaf and blind temporarily and also knocks them down. You click on it to prime it, then you throw it by either hotkeying it with spacebar and clicking where you want to throw, or clicking the throw button and then aiming where you want to throw and click. And then you can get bolas and energy bolas from the security vendor. These are throwable leg locks, basically bear traps, that will wrap around your opponent's legs, tripping them up, letting you move in the stun baton or pepper spray them, or a good old-fashioned beatdown. This is the bread and butter for most security officers. Other roles in this department have more unique gear. Quickly, for example, the detective has his evidence scanning stuff, his handgun, the head of security with his unique energy pistol that not only you can set to disable and kill, but also an EMP laser that harms Borgs. Very useful if there's malfunctioning AI and robots. The head of security also has a compact shotgun, which is awesome. The warden has a unique set of Krav Maga gloves in his garment bag. You could use this to perform 3 different unique attacks when targeting people with your fists in combat mode. There is a throat punch that stops people from speaking temporarily, a lung punch which knocks people's breath out and suffocates them, and definitely causes a lot of stamina damage, and then a move targeting the legs, sweeping them on their back, stunning them, and a combo of these really messes with people. These are awesome, I love them, people try to steal them all the time. Definitely use them. The warden is also the keeper of the armory and all the weapons on the station. These can include laser rifle disablers that you could set to kill or disable, regular laser rifles that are just very powerful harming weapons that cause burn damage, riot shotguns, tear gas, various armors all the way from full sets of riot gear all the way to laser defensive trench coats. various ammos, full standing flasher pillars that you can move around anywhere and wrench them down, and they will flash everybody that walks by, so make sure you and your security are wearing your sunglasses to protect you. The dragnet, which is basically a shootable snare, but there's also a secondary mode that can teleport players to predetermined locations. Very dangerous in the hand of someone that knows how to use it. You could teleport people to space or directly to prison cells, and a few other gizmos and gadgets depending on what station you're on. Any weapon crates that get brought here that you have access to, the famous ones that I've seen lately is laser carbines, full laser machine guns, disabler SMGs, laser SMGs, really awesome stuff. And it's your job to protect these weapons, give them to your officers if you see fit, and release the weapons to all your soldiers and officers when there's station-wide panic and disaster. Sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to be giving this to civilians also when there's a massive alien blob or infestation. Now let's talk about how to properly arrest people, punish people, and let them go. To properly arrest somebody, you want to stun them first, handcuff them, bring them back to security department. And depending on their infraction, whether it's a minor petty crime or serious felony, this will determine the punishment and where you put them. And refer to your server's wiki and the space law on actual times and punishments that you should be dishing out, or use your own discretion after researching it. But the whole idea is you want to give someone a punishment, let them serve their sentence, whatever that's deemed, and then release them fairly back into the station. The worst security officers, in my opinion, are security officers that leave prisoners in their cell way beyond their time. So do not do this ever. This is Security 101 taboo. Be a good cop in terms of punishment and release. Save all your bad cop for beating people up too much, throwing people through tables, macing people, tasing people. That's usually where I'm bad. But then I will either never punish you, your beatdown is the punishment basically, but that's just my roleplay. And again, that's very wrong. Do not follow me. For quick time sentences, use the temporary cells near the front of security. Bring them to the cell after searching all their belongings through their bag by holding control and click dragging them onto you. Will access their inventory. Click all the different items to have it unequip on them and drop on the floor, and then you can look through their stuff. Then once they have nothing, the best way to do this is inside the locker in the cell. Put them in the cell, drop all their stuff in the locker, lock it up, and right click on it to lock it, then click drag them onto the bed. They should be dressed in their prisoner outfit by now, don't leave them naked. The prisoner outfit's found in the locker. And then on the wall outside the prisoner cell is the computer monitor. This has the timer on it with 3 preset times for light, medium, and heavy sentences, or something of the sort, depending on what server you're on, and usually also a flash button, which will blind the prisoner with the built-in flash on the wall. Very funny and good to use if you have an unruly prisoner trying to break free. Set the timer, walk away, make sure you come back, because the door just opens up at this point, and then the prisoner is wandering around the security department. By now the prisoner should have broken free of his bed and handcuffs, and then he can get his stuff back and leave. Some officers leave all the prisoner's stuff right outside the prison cell, which makes it easy for everybody to collect when the guy's out. By now you should have properly looked through his belongings for contraband and illegal items. They should all be taken to the evidence lockers and locked up, or confiscated and kept by you, the bad officer. Definitely do not give weapons and illegal items back to the prisoner or criminal. To do this even more proper, you would use the arrest computer, which we'll talk about in detail, to file exactly what the crimes this person committed, to build a record that you could print out a rap sheet and show that he served his time and being released back to the populace, to tell other officers that this guy is an ex-convict when they're wearing their security glasses. The security computer that is located in various outposts around the station and here in the security barracks office. This is used to set players to suspicious, arrest, and various other options, to let players and AI know that this is a wanted person. In order to do this, you have to make a crime for them that they committed and make sure you do not put a fine, keep it at 0. This will set them to arrest. Otherwise, you just make a citation on their record that they need to pay to get it off their record. Also, this computer is used to print out wanted posters, print out missing posters, and print out rap sheets. When you set them to arrest, this will alert all the AI security robots on the station, like Officer Beepski, to automatically stun baton them and arrest them. And when you're wearing your security glasses, they will have an arrest mark on their head. Even the most robust players sometimes get caught off guard by Officer Beepski and other automated robots that the robotics department can build. Now let's talk about the permanent brig or the Perma brig. This is the area behind the security department that is meant to house prisoners full time. It has everything from a hydroponics lab to a kitchen to a basketball court and a workout room, laundry room, and various rooms and living quarters for prisoners. This is something that is not used enough in my opinion, and anytime an officer locks me up in the Perma brig, subconsciously I am very happy. This is an underutilized aspect of security, and with rounds lasting an hour on average, if you catch a traitor alive, instead of executing them, which is totally reasonable and allowed, instead perma-brig them and have some more role-playing fun. Next we have the labor camp. On certain maps there is a labor camp that you can send prisoners to and they can work for their freedom. This also helps the station earn more resources. This is at the officers and wardens' discretion who goes down there. Whereas the perma-brig, you're supposed to live life in jail eventually and have a trial with a lawyer and a judge to determine your fate. The labor camp is completely up to you when you're going to get out, either by breaking free or by serving your penalty and mining and growing vegetables and creating materials that all equal different value of points to work toward your freedom. You're definitely going to have to read the Wikipedia on how this works if you are a prisoner, but basically bring the prisoner down here after inputting the prisoner's ID to the prisoner console, making them an official prisoner. And then that prisoner can use his ID to scan the monitor in the Lava Land labor camp shuttle to bring material to this console and earn points. Again, read the wiki because I am not sure how it works on every server. As a security member, you have the real opportunity to make players' games unique and also have consequences for people's actions. People will always remember their interaction with the security guard way over their interactions with random people on the station. How I play security is I like to be a stickler, good cop, and lock people up for things. I'll bring someone in for crime, rough them up a little bit, and then let them go into maintenance after throwing them through a glass table. I play security differently depending on what the round is like. Sometimes I'm a super defender of the station, other times I'm a stickler going around doing catch and release, doing stop and frisk, searching people's bags. I'll bust a botanist for drugs and then turn around and smoke it with him sometimes. It's always a wild card with me. But always before leaving that situation, I would pepper spray the botanist and walk away as he's writhing and gnashing on the floor. I never said I was the best security officer. I'm a much better detective because it usually revolves around smoking too much cigarettes, drinking too much booze. Another thing I'm famous for as security is friendly fire. I saw somebody in the hallway shooting a magic wand at people, and I immediately unloaded full-on riot shotgun lethal incendiary rounds into what I thought was a wizard's chest. It turned out to be a random person with a healing magic wand healing people. Whenever I'm the detective, you can guarantee there'll be multiple people with random gunshot wounds and bullets lodged inside their bodies, because when I start shooting, you better start ducking. Security can be an extreme role with a lot of camaraderie, great banter amongst teammates, and this is because you all have targets on your back. And unless your department during the shift is known to be very benevolent police force, everyone will just assume you guys are authoritarians and they will hate you. Security is a vital role to learn the ins and outs of, for many reasons. So you could be a better antagonist or even just a mischievous crewmate, but also so you could be a more robust officer and defend the station from antagonists. If you're ever on a server and notice security department is lacking or empty, I highly advise you to try it out, give it a whirl, have fun with all the toys, be an upstanding officer of space law, or just pepper spray the clown every opportunity you get, and be known as the shit-sec supreme officer. The choice is yours. Is this a role for beginners? I would say yes, especially if you let other people know you're the new cop, you're the new officer, go on ride-alongs. You will enjoy this. I, for the longest time, held off on playing security because it wasn't quite my style, but now that I've been playing it, I've been having a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoy security department. Let me know what you think of this video. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps me tremendously. Hit that subscribe button for more great content, Space Station 13, and awesome other games. And thank you sincerely for watching. Have a great rest of your day.